Hey, everybody, it is me, Dr. T, in the place to be. Let's thank God for another incredible day because guess what, y'all? He didn't have to do it, but he did. And I'm so glad he did, like I'm sure many of you are. So, peace and blessings to you guys. Happy holiday season. Hoping that you guys are not spending a lot of money because, gee, that just makes absolutely no sense. You know, your kid's not going to have the toys more than a week after you buy them. And guilty, I made those mistakes. I used to spend thousands of dollars that I just really did not have on Christmas and Christmas gifts. So if you got to do it, pull names. So welcome to My Health Matters, a conversation with Dr. T. I have two lovely people in the building with me today. Make that three because we got to give shout out to Nick. Y'all know Nick. He be doing it. He's on every show.
Working hard.
He works hard for his money, okay? So joining me today, I have the lovely, incomparable Miss Symone Fairchild, and you guys have seen her before on other shows that we have here at Rollout Digital. So welcome, Symone.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, thank you for joining. I appreciate it. And we also have the lovely, the great, a young man I've been knowing for a number of years now who was very instrumental in the mentoring of my son, who you guys know is dynamic. But along the journey, God gives us a village and a community of people that help us to raise them, especially as men. You know, Elijah coming up with no father. I was fortunate enough to have a few men that were very positive and father figures in his life. And one of them is here, Mr. James Christian. So welcome and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. So you guys are here and we're just going to have a conversation. We can talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about. There is no censorship. So if you want to cuss, cuss.
Oh, okay.
Want to get naked, get no, just kidding. Friday.
This is adult time. This is adult time. I hear you.
Right,
Yes.
right. So there are a few things. So, Symone, I know that you do a lot of work with domestic violence. So for anybody out there who may be dealing with issues at home, it could be female or male. Men are victims of domestic violence as well as children. You definitely want to make sure that you tune in to what it is Symone is going to say and talk about. Is something that is her passion. So I want to give you an opportunity to talk about your program. Tell us how it got started and what your vision is.
Okay. My organization is ION TV. I am a survivor of domestic violence myself. I have a now 7-year-old who's like huge. The idea came about when I was still with my abuser, and it grew and morphed and changed over time until the point where it was ready for me to launch it. It is IONDV,
So I, like
as in
E-Y-E.
E-Y-E,
I
on
DV.
Yes.
DV is for domestic violence.
Yes.
Okay.
And the website is iondv.com.
Okay.
The Instagram is iondv, Facebook is iondv, and there's also a YouTube channel, which is iondv.
Okay.
I have been doing for the last year and a couple months now, conducting interviews with current victims of domestic violence, survivors of domestic violence, and anyone and everyone that has anything to do with the journey. So it could be, I have also interviewed psychotherapists, caseworkers, anyone that has anything to do with domestic violence along the way. I am looking to interview individuals that work with the UN to talk to them about what's going on in other countries, to see if what has worked for other countries, especially legally, what's worked there, so we can bring it back here and implement it with our justice system, which is absolutely broken.
And
absolutely
crappy.
broken. And it is horrible.
Who does it work for? Who does the justice system in America work for?
The justice system in America works for the people who built it and for the wealthy and powerful to begin with.
And I don't think they look like us.
They honestly, I hate to say that, but that's true. I was going through.
Right.
I went into court armed with the truth.
Yeah.
I had no experience with police. I had no experience with lawyers, no experience with court, nothing
Mm-hmm.
until I got to court.
Okay.
I was absolutely blindsided by the truth
Okay.
there.
Okay.
If you walk into court being a victim, being a survivor, you have no experience, and all you have is the truth, you better have a village.
Yeah.
You are going to need a ton of support.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do as much research as humanly possible before you get there.
Or contact Symone.
Contact me.
She's
because
an expert.
I've been through it all. And I have a ton of resources. I have legal resources, housing resources, transportation resources. Uh, we're all a community. So if I personally, if my organization personally cannot provide it, I know someone who can.
Yes.
So our slogan is "Your light in the darkness." So everyone has darkness, no matter where you are in life.
Yes.
But it's what you do with it. It's the light that you have within yourself. Is the light that you have within yourself that you need to put on the horizon and wake up to that every day. Take one step after the next. Every day. It's a daily trek.
Yes. Now there are some things, just in being a psychologist, clients and other people that I've come in contact with, sometimes they feel like they deserve abuse. What's your take on that?
That comes from generational issues, especially women. This is the truth. Okay, I hate saying it, but this is the truth. Women, especially, have been raised to believe that they are supposed to be seen and not heard. And that manifests itself in so many ways within one's personality, within one's thought of themselves.
Sure.
And they project that out into their environment. So when you are raised to believe what you just said, then that will determine the type of relationships that you have. And you have no idea that you're putting that out into the environment. So, and there's no one around you to really be able to let you know what's going on. So it's hard to see. It's very emotional, and it's hard to hear because when someone, say I'm sitting with you and I'm fresh out of my relationship and I'm scared to death, have no idea what's going on, I'm spinning, and you're telling me what you just told me. What I would take from that is that I'm doing something wrong, not because I am, but because I've been raised to believe that I'm the problem.
Right.
So it's when I'm sitting where I'm sitting, having healed a lot already, but still having a lot to heal from, but sitting in a position to be able to help, it is super important for people who want to be advocates or who are advocates to go into situations with victims and survivors, establishing a place of safety.
Yes.
They have to believe that they're safe.
Yes.
They have to believe that they're supported. They have to believe that they're understood and they will be heard and they will not be judged.
Right.
And the questions that we have for them are to understand what they've experienced, what they're going through right now, what they need, and how we can help.
Right. And that's what it is. It's about how you can help.
Yeah.
Right?
And can I share something?
Please.
Piggybacking off of what you were saying in reference to the generation, right? And why it goes back. And it was a conversation we was having in regards to domestic violence and why women stay, right? And I felt like women stay because it's embedded in them and it's implemented at a very, very young age, right? And I have 3 daughters, right? So I make it crystal clear about how to move.
Yeah.
And when I say it's embedded in them at a very early age, this is what I mean, and you guys would probably relate to this. When a little boy hit you, pushed you, pulled on your ponytails, etc., etc., what was the normal saying back in the day? Oh, he must
like me.
He must like you.
Yeah, that's
Right?
powerful.
Even when you would go to the principal at school and say, "Hey, he pushed me," oh, that's the boys' way of showing that they like you, etc. So that's embedded. So then, as you get older, you don't think about it then.
Right.
But then, as you get older, when a guy hit you, slap on you, punch you, pull you by your hair, and some women is like, "Oh, that's just his way of showing that he loves
Yeah,
me."
you
He
know
just
that is
it's crazy. You
that
don't
is
think like you
crazy.
have
But
to really
powerful.
think
Yes.
back. Like it was
Yes.
embedded. So not only was
Absolutely.
our parents making that statement, other adults was making
Right.
that statement.
Right.
Principals making everybody you went to
Right.
was making that statement.
Everybody in your
That's how a
ecosystem.
boy shows he likes you. When from a very young age, when he pushes you, when he pulls your hair, when he calls you, that's just the way he really likes you.
Yeah.
Actuality, is that not
Yeah.
crazy?
That is
And
crazy.
we don't realize that's embedded. Women, it's
Right.
embedded. So
It is
why they
embedded.
stay, it's they was
Psychologically.
right. It's
Yeah.
like they was told this whole time.
Yeah.
When a person do that, that must really mean he loves me. If he can hit me, if he can pull, snatch me, and this and that, that's
Yeah.
my really. I told my daughters that's not the move. If anybody ever put their hands on
Right.
you,
Right.
you go with me, and that's not. And don't let no adult tell you that that's okay.
That's
he just
right.
likes you.
Yeah.
I instilled that in them from the beginning.
Yeah.
Because hidden is not love.
No, it's not.
It isn't. And I'm glad you made that point because
Excellent.
then-
Thank you. That's powerful.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I never thought about it like that.
Deep.
Yeah.
It really goes when you really take a minute to breathe for a second and think. It really goes deep. Like, man, all adults were saying the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Where did that person?
He just like her. He just hit me because he like you. He think you're cute. Yeah.
Yep.
No,
But-
no, parents. Not okay.
And that contradicts our innate belief of what love is. Innately, we know that love isn't physical violence. We know that. But when the people in your life, when the adults in your life, when your parents are telling you otherwise, then you have that confusion that sets
Yeah.
in. And but then what do you're also taught to listen to your parents. You're also taught to listen
but
to
here's the thing too.
You
know,
Not only
yeah,
the
right.
physical violence,
Here
there's
you go.
mental,
Yep.
there's emotional, there's psychological, and there's some violence and things that could be done to break down your spirit, your spiritual, and even your relationship and your belief system, whatever that may be. So all of those things can be impacted. So the violence part, when I think about domestic violence, I think about the physical part. But when I think about abuse, I think about all of those branches. Because, it really is, still abuse. It's still abuse. And, it's just, you can't tell me you love me and hit me. You can't tell me you love me and cheat on me. You can't tell me you love me and steal from me.
That
No.
isn't love. That isn't
It's not
love at
love.
all. Right.
And it's not complicated, right? I think we were talking before we came on. I think we make things more complicated than what they need to be. But if we took an honest look just at life and living, God did not make us to suffer these. It's dumb. It's petty. It's unnecessary. It's totally unnecessary.
Yeah.
But for people out there that are going through domestic violence, sometimes they feel like, or their oppressor or abuser makes them feel like, hey, I'm it. You cannot survive without me. But like you said in the beginning, there are a lot of resources that are available. You may not want to have to go to a shelter, right? But a shelter just very well may have to be an option, for a while. So,
And not all shelters are what they're portrayed to be, like in film and television.
okay, talk to us about
Okay,
that.
because
Yes.
there was like 5 months or so where my son and I lived in a rescue mission, which is
Okay.
a fancy word of saying a shelter, and it was a San Fernando Valley rescue mission.
Okay.
It was a resort. It was basically,
Wow.
it felt like a resort, and it was very clean.
Okay.
The caseworkers were incredible.
Oh, wow.
There were resources that you would not even believe. That you
Okay.
wouldn't believe. I had while I was there, I had the lead caseworker. So They allowed me to keep my phone. Most places you go, you can't have a phone for 30 days.
Oh,
They
wow.
allowed me to keep my job. I went in with a job. I went in. They allowed my son to stay at the school that he was in because I was like,
Okay.
I'm not quitting my job. Can't have my phone. And my son is staying in school.
Right.
The
Yeah.
only thing we needed was a place to live, a place to stay.
Okay.
And they brought resources in that you wouldn't believe. Like, for instance, there was a program at Pepperdine University
Mm-hmm.
for small businesses, for people who
Okay.
had small business ideas. And the
Uh-huh.
program manager came in and did a talk. I sat front and center, and every 5 seconds I was like raising my hand. I question, question. And
Sure.
after a while, my caseworker was like, Symone, just wait and just,
You can't. You're
I can't. I
anxious.
was so excited, and I was like, "Oh my god, I can't wait!" And so when they came back to do the interview, I had so many business ideas, and I can tell you that whole story later. But like, don't sleep on the resources that are given to you. It might sound like it's not for you, but God is bringing it to you.
Right.
So at least entertain it. At
Yes.
least try it. That place. I still talk to those people to this day.
That's excellent.
Wonderful.
That's excellent. And it's crazy because I was just sitting here and I'm just thinking, I'm always thinking about drawing dots and making connections to different things, but we have James sitting on the sofa and his specialty is working with foster youth, right? So when you think about domestic violence, you think about a place of instability, at least for a little while. And it's very much so the same thing when it comes to children who are in foster homes, being migrated from one part of the city to the other. I tell you, working in the school system, I've worked in the school system like maybe almost, 25 years or so. I'll tell you, in Los Angeles, the South area was the highest concentration for children that were in foster care. Those kids that were in schools in the Gardena area, the South, from South Central down to San Pedro, had the highest percentage of children anywhere in the great county of Los Angeles, which expands out to Palmdale, and before you get to Antelope Valley,
Wow.
the highest concentration. And so what it looked like, children being raised by people other than their parents, grandparents, aunties, uncles, neighbors, cousins, strangers, you know. And so, but it's also instability, right? So now you have youth that come up with the instability of home or having something that they can rely on. And we know psychologically the basic necessities are the things: shelter, food, water, right? Clothing, but there's also love. So now I want to shift over to Mr. Christian sitting over here on the sofa, and just talk to us about that. How is it for the foster youth? What's going on in the foster care system? What do you see?
Oh wow, it's super tough. Um, just the information, the feedback that I'm getting in regards to the foster care system, and it blows my mind. Like, oh, okay, these kids when they age out, and they put them in bags, right?
Right.
It's like you out of here type
Yeah.
energy, and then you have the element of where it's just for money, right? You have that element, people's doing it just for money, and
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's like I'm tired of them feeling like they're invisible,
Mm-hmm.
and I want them to understand that I see them.
Right.
Period. So that's one of the main reasons that I'm here on your show as well too, is because it was brought to my attention
Mm-hmm.
that the high school dropout rate for foster care kids is up to 80% right now.
Oh, okay, so it's back up.
Right.
It was down at one point.
Right.
Do you think COVID had anything to do with that? Maybe.
Um, I don't, it's hard to say. It could be a possibility, but then again, I just feel like the hopelessness
Yeah.
is what's instilled in them feeling invisible.
Yeah.
It's a tough energy to embrace when you feel invisible, right?
Yeah.
And they need to know that they're seen. So once I found that out, I was like, okay, Jay, let's do something for them
Yes.
so they know they not forgot about
Right.
at all,
Yeah.
especially for the holidays.
Now, how long have you been working with the foster youth?
Wow, for about, I'll say about 4 years,
Okay.
right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And overall, just kids in the community, period. That's been over 10 years.
Okay.
I worked with over 10,000 kids
Wow.
so far, period. But the
Oh,
foster,
that's amazing.
right? And it's a blessing because that's what it's about for me, having the opportunity to impact people's lives and
Sure.
not to sound corny or anything like that, but to keep it real with you, like every day I wake up, all I want to do is impact people's lives in a positive manner.
Yeah.
Like nothing else matters.
Yeah.
Like nothing else matters.
Yes.
And with
You got to get out your own way. It's not about you. It's about other people. And when you
Right.
truly realize that, I think that's when we're most effective in the
Right.
things that God has actually called us to do.
right,
So you're doing what you're called to do.
right,
It's not a job. It's a passion.
right,
I had to find a way to still make money but live in my passion because that's my truth.
right.
You know, when you understand your purpose and you can't turn away from it. You just can't.
Not at all. Not at all. And it's facts. And I just feel like God blessed me. So it's only right to bless others.
That's
it's
right.
only right to move in that manner and be obedient. So when he tell me to move a certain type of way, oh, it's official. It's no questions asked.
Right.
Hands up, like I got it.
Right. Right.
You know?
That's powerful. And then in the same vein, you have a toy drive that you're doing, and I want
Yes.
the viewers to know that you guys, which camera, Nick? You don't gotta look at the people.
Just talk either way.
Okay. So I want you guys to know and understand that you can bring your unwrapped toy right here, right at the studio. Come on in and say hello. We're going to have a box out there. You guys can drop your toys because you're going to be blessing some children that have nothing, all right? Nothing. And as much as I don't like to spend money on Christmas, you know, I do know kids like to wake up with something, Nick, something. But so James is having this incredible toy drive that we are participating in. And you can drop it off here at 7041 Owensmouth Avenue in the city of Canoga Park up until 5 p.m. All right. And then you have, wait, don't tell me because I wrote it down. I wrote it from the last time when you were here. Jingles, Jokes, and Jams. Tell us about Jingles, Jokes, and Jams.
Well, Jingle Jokes and Jams is a weekend that we're going to be doing annually in LA.
And this is the first year?
Yep, the whole
And it's going to
weekend.
be fire.
Yes.
I'll be there. He'll be there. She'll be there. He'll be there. We'll be there.
Yes. A whole weekend of events that we're going to be doing December 18th and 19th.
Okay.
And the first event is I'm going to do a free basketball camp for 100 foster care kids. And we're going to give away free shoes, free haircuts to all the families, the kids there. And then when we go to Sunday, we're going to have a comedy night at the Laugh Factory in Hollywood. So we're going to have a lot of special guest comedians coming out. My man Speed going to do his thing
Speed
and
Dog will be in the house.
shine on us. And we're going to have, a lot of dope comedians going to come out and show love. You bring toys with you to the comedy show at the Laugh Factory. And then we're going to have an after party. And the after party, people are going to be crazy.
Yeah. Now, there's one
gonna
thing
be
I do
crazy.
want to incentivize, if I may, being a sponsor of the show. So for anybody who brings in 10 unwrapped toys, I am going to give you my CBD coffee. It's absolutely amazing, and it helps with the inflammation and pain in your body. Or you'll be able to choose from the gummies, all right? Don't go to the 99-cent store and bring toys. Don't bring us no 99-cent store toys because it's insulting. Don't do that. Kids want to have things that are of quality. They're going to tear them up in a few weeks anyway. So one to last more than a day. All right?
Right.
But anybody who brings in 10 toys, I'm going to give you something as a sponsor. All right? You bring in 20 toys. What can we do, Nick? Maybe we'll give you a bottle of BSB for 25 toys. Not for the kid, for the adult that brings in the unwrapped, non-99-cent store toy. All right? And we don't want to see no white baby dolls. Don't bring those either.
Where's a good place for them to shop at?
Toys R Us. I'm just kidding.
Toys R Us don't exist no more.
Walmart is good.
Okay, that's why I asked.
Target is good.
Amazon.
Amazon.com is good. Dana.
And gift cards. And then
gift cards.
So
gift cards are amazing.
Here it is with that situation. When you think of toy drives, a lot of people think about the babies with the toy drives and forget about the older kids, the older foster care kids. And they are the ones that's actually having the issues and dropping out.
Right.
That's feeling invisible. So in regards to them, us at Teach One, Reach One Foundation, we're asking for gift cards for the older kids, where they can get clothes or headphones or iPads, different things like that.
So don't bring them a Ralph's gift card. Don't do that. Don't do that.
You can go to Ralph's and get gift cards, right?
Gift cards.
And
right. We
and
just gotta sometimes make things a little clear because people have the right
Right.
idea and hearts are in the right place, but sometimes a little.
We gotta have to make crystal clear. And honestly, I do want to share too, because a lot of people maybe don't know what type of toy to get, this and that. You can go to our website at t1r1fd.org, and you can actually donate money on your behalf for us to purchase toys on your behalf. We can go out and get the toys that's needed as well too. So if you don't have toys laying around the house, et cetera, you can always just donate money for us to go out and purchase toys on your behalf.
Yes.
So we can do that. And just honestly, coming to the show, coming to the comedy show. The tickets are on sale for that.
Get the tickets,
yeah,
y'all.
they definitely see. Here, see, that's where I got Nick at. See, Nick can't do the toy thing, but Nick can get a ticket to the comedy show,
right?
and it benefits
the
foundation and everything that we're doing. So we're looking to sell out. We want people to come out and have a good time.
And it's a difference in tickets. There's a $30 ticket, but if you're a baller like me, go on and get that $100 ticket. That $100 is going straight to his cause. He's not taking a cut or a percentage. Y'all see that bling bling on his neck and arm. He don't need it, okay? He's giving it to these children.
Definitely
100% of the donation goes to the kids, you guys.
And the $100 ticket is VIP.
Yeah,
so VIP,
and it gets you into the after party.
The after party, which I'm telling you guys is gonna be. You guys gonna go back Monday and talk about the after party because it's gonna be that crazy.
After the show.
And just to be clear, the after party is only like an 8-minute drive away from the Laugh Factory.
Oh, it's not at the Laugh Factory?
No, no. That's listen. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
It's too small.
Oh,
the
it's
comedy,
going down like that?
comedy, the Laugh Factory is too small,
it is
for the after party. So
Yeah,
that's how
true.
letting you know the after party is gonna be right. So if y'all looking to end it nice, it's
I'm looking
perfect.
to end mine with a.
Oh Lord.
See, all right now.
With a drink.
Yes.
A drink and a smile.
A drink and a smile.
Yes. You will be smiling with the comics and everybody that's coming out. You
Yes, I will
definitely-
be.
You definitely will. But no, I just
For sure.
appreciate everybody's support for Teach One, Reach One Foundation.
Yes.
And we just trying to do something dope for us to leave a legacy to support these foster care kids.
Yeah.
And let them know. And that's the whole purpose of it all.
Yes.
And all the viewers, everyone, please come out and support.
Please, y'all.
December
Come on out.
19th, 5 o'clock in Hollywood. We're going to have a great time.
Now, if
Please come
someone
out.
is watching and wants to, okay, so tell us the ages for the kids on December 19th for the basketball
That's the
camp.
18th.
I'm sorry, December 18th. That's the basketball camp, the haircuts, and the shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all hear that? Your
Yes.
kids can be looking fly on Christmas. They can get their haircuts and have on a brand new pair of shoes.
Right.
You can take them shoes and put them in a box and put them under the tree if that's what you do.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. It's a thought. That's
So,
one
yeah.
gift that you don't have to spend your money on
Yeah.
that this young man is giving or is being
Good,
donated.
right.
And it ain't going to be no crap. All right?
Yeah, so we definitely doing it, and like I said, we are currently looking for sponsors, for people to sponsor these foster care kids with toys, gifts, et cetera, et cetera. So we're currently looking for
Now, what is it?
businesses,
Okay. So,
businesses,
okay.
individuals,
all right.
anybody that would like to sponsor and just be a part of this event that
Okay.
will happen annually as well.
Okay.
So this is not just something we're doing to
just because it's Christmas
see what
time.
happens.
Sure.
No, we're going to be in the city's face
Okay.
every year. And all the foster care kids going to be standing behind me, and we're not going nowhere.
Right.
We're
right.
going to make them see us,
Right.
period,
Yeah.
every year.
Yeah. Now, did you come up in the foster care system or anyone that you know
Not,
or love?
not at all.
Not at all.
Not
so
at all.
where does
This
your
is
passion come from?
God.
What happened?
God. He told me to move a certain type of way, and I'm obedient, and I
Yes.
listen. He
Yes.
was like, I need you,
Yes.
period. And that's what it was. And he gave me the concept on what to do. He gave me the blueprint, and I'm executing
Okay.
to the fullest. And it's just the passion behind it and understanding the mission. Like, I understand the assignment,
Yes.
right? And that's the whole component of it.
Yes.
Like, one of the parents asked me before, and it was like, and it was interesting. We was at a basketball game. I blessed 60 families a few weeks back that never been to an NBA basketball game before. And I got them all tickets to the Clippers and the Charlotte Hornets game, their first NBA
Oh,
game
yeah.
ever, right?
Oh, yes.
And it's so funny. I was walking down the corridor, right? Funny story. And I'm walking down the corridor, and I see this group of parents. It's about maybe 15 parents, and they circling, and they talking, right? And I'm walking, and all I hear is, oh, there you go right there, right? And I'm looking. They're like, come here, coach. So I walk over there, and I'm looking like, what's going on, right? Like, what's happening? And they're like, we wanted to talk to you about something. We just wanted to ask you a question. I'm like, okay, what's going on? So the parents was like, one of the parents was like, man, we honestly just want to know, why do you do so much for us? Why do you do what you do for us, man? And you know what I told them? I was like, because one day my life is going to flash before my eyes, and I just want to make sure it's worth watching.
That's right.
Like, period, that's all I want. I want to make sure it's worth watching, right? Because one day all of our lives going to flash before our eyes, and we don't want to be like, oh, I don't want to see that.
Right.
We want to make sure that it's worth watching.
Right.
And that's the point, and that's the purpose of it all, if that
Absolutely.
makes sense, right?
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Wow. So if you guys are having a generous heart, it's the first of the month still, SSI checks will come out on the 3rd. Just get it. I just keep it real with you. It was my payday a few days ago, so of course I'm going to give. And there's nothing like giving. What does the Bible tell us about charity? Nick, let's bring Nick in on this one. What does the Bible say about charity, Nick?
What does it say about charity?
What is it? Love, hope, charity? I can't think of the verse.
I do know, I can't think of the verse either, and I don't want to misquote anything, but this is something I talk to my mom all the time about. She has raised foster kids most, if not all, my life. And I know the kind of the weight that
There go the queen.
people kind of carry when they go into that line of work. But one thing that me and her have discussed is that I know the scripture says to store up your treasures in heaven, and to take all the mystery out of that, basically what that means is you reap what you sow. You know what I mean? So if you live your life trying to help people, that's the best way to live life. You know what I mean? To stack those things up, to build up goodwill, because we all gonna get old. We all gonna have bad luck one day. We all gonna have hard times. So it's best to have a pile of good deed stocked up. You know what I'm saying? So
I
that's how I
agree.
look at life like that. And I feel like sometimes we're blessed to have more than other people, and people don't have more than we have, so that we're forced to work together
Right.
Mm-hmm.
and make this thing all come together. You know,
Yeah.
so I never look at me having more than someone as me having more than them.
Right.
It's just for me to help
That's
other
it.
people. You know, I never look at it like I have an abundance of
I
things.
love
So
that.
caller.
Hey, it's Dana.
Hey,
Hey,
Dana,
Dana.
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 Hello.
Hi.
I wanted to chime in on the topic you guys were having. It seems like it was around foster care and youth and lack.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
No, tell me what it was about because that's the parts I heard. I came in a little late. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. Well, we were just talking about, well, we began with Symone talking about domestic violence and then just connecting the instability of living to those that foster children face. You know, the instability in having a home.
No, no, that's so true. That's so true. And
Mm-hmm.
I did hear that part of it. And it seems like all those things happen and they connect to one another. If your
Yes.
mother, is unstable or there's some housing insecurity, you could possibly become a foster child, or if there's domestic violence in the home, you could be removed from the home.
Yes. Yes.
So all of that, I was listening to, and I was like, wow, everybody's story parallels. I want to talk about or mention a little bit about how I spent a little time in foster care when I was young.
Please
Me
do.
and my sister, we were, I don't know, I think we were in foster care maybe about 4 years. And I don't remember any organizations or individual people that reached out like that, at Christmas time or when it was time to go to college or, being bounced around from home to home. I remember going to 2 different homes before we were returned to my mother. So I just want to say, thank you guys for, coming on here and telling your stories. And I also want to put out there, of course, I'll be giving and donating toys, but I want to ask James, is there an opportunity to adopt a specific foster child or maybe 2 foster children and then just be a blessing to those 1 or 2 children for the holiday time?
Well, what we did, we partnered with Department of Children and Family Services, and literally the next day after our event, the comedy show and everything, literally the next day we're going to pass out all the toys to all the foster care families, and they have
Okay.
because that was a lot easier because they already have the list. They have the
Right.
kids. They have
Right.
the
Oh,
families.
okay,
Yes.
Instead of
okay.
just going out, we like, yo, let's keep it simple. Like they said, sometimes people can complicate things where, it's okay to let 1+1 = 2,
Yeah.
right? Because sometimes we be like 1+0.5 +0.5 = 2, right? So,
Yes.
so
Okay.
yeah, no, but we would love your support, and it's so many blessings. And if there's anything that you can do, I know you mentioned 1 or 2 people, but if it's anything that you want to do that could be impactful, like I said, a lot of the needs are for the older kids.
Yeah.
Even though
No, they
I
are.
mean,
I remember doing so much around church and missions and giving and everything. And I can recall a time where we had so many gifts for the younger children and nothing
right,
for the older
right,
children. So me and some of my friends came together and bought iPod shuffles at the time.
right,
And
Wow.
we were always thinking, so you were giving me an idea about headphones.
right.
But
Yeah,
I will
like
say this:
that'll be a
I
blessing.
have a upcoming birthday. My birthday is Friday,
Uh
and
Oh,
oh,
any
happy
monetary
birthday.
Yay.
gifts I receive, any gifts that I can pay it forward with, I'm going to give those, towards the children. I
right.
won't even keep any of it for myself. If there's anything that I could pay forward, I will, buy toys and gifts for children.
Right. Thank you so much. No, that would be such a. And I hope you go on to our website and purchase a ticket. You and your sister, your family, your friends, and come out to the
Okay, we
comedy
will.
Oh,
show.
Dana's coming. Dana will be there.
Okay, we
Dana
need Dana
will
in
be
the.
there.
We
Won't you,
need
Dana?
Dana in the building
Yes.
for the look. Dana for the birthday shout out. We
Thank
we gonna
you.
have you there. So. Well,
Dana's
yeah, no,
coming, honey.
we want you to share it with your family because another thing we want to sell this out
Yeah.
because we definitely want
Okay.
to push and sell this out because we want to make a statement
Absolutely.
that so many people support these foster care kids and we want them to see the content.
Yes.
These kids, like this many people showed up in support of us.
Yes. Yes.
That's why any of you listeners out there, please push your friends, your circles. It's 21 and over. It is that. But there to go on to the website. Once again, it's T1R1, and that's T the number 1, R the number 1, FD.org. And purchase your tickets. Hit the Jingle Jokes and Jam flyer, and it'll take you right into the purchasing of the tickets at the bottom of the page. We want to make a statement. This is more than just having something to do. This is a statement movement that we're making to let people know that we're behind these foster care kids. And with everything going on right now, the world needs to laugh. So that's why I wanted to marry the foster care kids and the comedy shows.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
they need to laugh, and let's keep it real. Laughter's good for the soul.
It is.
Right? So we need
it
this is a statement. That's why I'm putting a call out to everybody. This is a statement just to show up and droves to show we can sell out in support of foster care kids, and we're not going nowhere. We're not going to leave them.
Nope. And look, I'm going to be a role model, and I'm going to go ahead and purchase my ticket while I'm sitting right here on the air in hopes that other people will do it. And again, it's T, like Tati.
Can you drop it in the chat?
Can you put it in the chat, Nick? T1R1, F like Frank, D as in dog.org. Thank you,
Oh,
Dana.
you're
We know
welcome.
you coming, girl. And she going to buy VIP because that's just Dana. She's like, that's her.
You know, I want to say thank you to one of my viewers because Black Shawani Vision just said, yeah, send this to me. I'll for sure pull up and push it to the folks.
So you know what? Type it in your chat.
I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I
oh,
did.
Perfect.
So I just want to say who he is. He's a very dear friend of mine. His name is Tondi, and he is part of my staff, I guess you would say. And his mom has been running a daycare for forever.
Wow.
So he truly appreciates the care of children and the love of children. He's surrounded by children all the time. So thank you, Tondi.
Thank you, Tondi.
Mwah. Thank you.
Appreciate you, King. Appreciate you, man.
Yes, we do.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
It's very powerful. And I'm so excited because I know you're going to be taking it to other cities too, but
Yes.
but also still having it in Los Angeles every year, correct?
In LA,
Okay.
to be crystal clear on it.
Okay.
We're going to implement this in different states and different cities,
Okay.
but we're always going to end in LA.
Got it.
But in that same year, that same month of December, we may be in New York, we may be in Chicago, we may be in Dallas, doing in multiple cities, the same blueprint, blessing those kids there, because it's foster care kids in every city
Yes.
and
All over
every
the
state,
world.
and
Yeah.
it's comedy clubs in every city and
Yes.
every state. So we marrying them, and we gonna set
We
it
gonna
off
hit
and
'em.
make sure that we bless them all over. Because
Yes.
to be honest, nothing about me is local. Everything that I move is nationwide.
Right.
So
Global.
I'm trying to global
Right.
whole thing, just implementing it all over, and that's just how my mind works. So yeah,
Love it.
we definitely pulling it off every year in different states and different cities as well, but always in LA. That's the hub.
So look here, you guys. He also has it too where you can sign up and register your email address. So I just did that, my email address. And then when you go to ticket sales, it's going to look like this. Okay. So I'm showing you guys because, yes, I believe in the power of leading by example. And that means don't talk about it. Be about it. Do it. Just do it. Get it done. And that's it. And so that's what it's about. So we're going to take a quick break. and we're going to come right back. All right. And so you guys make sure you tune in, share with other people so that they too can be a part of this dynamic experience before the tickets run out. I suggest you get the VIP. Is it food coming? Do we get to eat? What come with that $100 ticket? What come with that $100 ticket?
There's some food there.
Okay.
It will be some food there.
Okay.
As well. But definitely gonna be some drinks there.
Gotta get that brown sugar.
Yes. There's definitely gonna be some drinks there. But no, we excited about the whole aspect of it and
So the party is for 21-year-olds and up, right?
yeah, the comedy.
Oh, the comedy.
Right.
The comedy and the after party.
Right.
21 years and up. All right? Okay.
Yeah. And you won't be disappointed at all. At all.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, so. Yeah,
It's your
for real.
closeout song. What's that Too Short song? It's you know Too Short got one called "It's Time to Go." You heard
It's
that
time to go. Hey, y'all, we back. It ain't time to go just yet because we got some dynamic things we're going to talk about. And then we're going to give you guys some more information that you can use for your children specifically because guess what? Basketball is happening, right, James? So parents, kids going to be on break. They want a place to take their kids so they can get that energy out so that the schools can quit saying that y'all babies have attention deficit disorders with hyperactivity and or inattentiveness and or impulsivity. Guess what? They need to run and play.
Yep.
They're not getting out enough. They're doing this all day.
Yes.
How the hell do your thumbs still work? But basketball is a great sport. It teaches discipline. It teaches children to learn how to share and to learn how to listen. And some of you parents don't really have the control you think you have over your children. And trust me, being a single mom, the earlier you can get them to listen, the better it is for them as they grow up and become teenagers. And now a man. I have a whole man as a son who's getting ready to move to France, by the way.
Oh, wow.
I'm not going to cry.
And my
Love
little
it.
7-year-old just started with Coach James this past
Yes,
on
that's
Sunday.
true. I saw William up and down the court with his ponytails flying.
Yes, his little tendrils just bouncing.
So what did he think?
He's like me. It takes him a second to really like mellow out and really fill out the environment because there's a brand new environment, a ton of new kids, new man telling him what to do and a whole bunch going on.
Did he say,
you know?
"You ain't my daddy"? Do you ever get that, James?
No,
Nobody
never.
knows. Because James be like, hey, hey. I heard you say, hey, hey. I'm like, they ain't going to say nothing to him.
Yeah, and his voice like bounces off the walls in that big old gym. So it's like it's
Yes.
a lot to take in. But I mean, he immediately he listened and he did what he was supposed to do. He was a
Okay.
little slow sometimes. Sometimes he was lagging behind, kind of just running.
That's okay.
Kind of like how he wanted to.
You
But
know,
eventually he
William
caught
is
up.
a martial artist, so basketball is.
Yeah, he loves
you know.
basketball. He loves so he's used to having to be disciplined and listen.
Well,
And
remember I
and-
got on him a little bit.
Yeah,
Remember
you
when
got
he
on
missed the
him.
line?
yeah, he missed the line. I was fighting, telling him, honey, you got it. Oh, with the back and
But-
forth with the 17,
Right.
and because
No,
he
not
paused.
The 17, when we ran down to the
Oh
baseline.
yeah, but
and I stopped everybody.
yes,
And
and you want to know why he did that? He thought that you were talking about the free throw line. Because he
didn't
wouldn't have stopped.
No, he stopped the three steps right before he just turned around and ran
And came
because
back.
everybody else beat him to the line
Oh,
and was
okay.
running back already as he was coming. So he was like, so he
I don't
wanted to
wanna be
run
caught.
with
Oh.
everybody else. So he
I don't wanna
just
be caught.
right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's why. But it was other kids that stopped short. So that was I was like, but I talked to the whole group, but I let them know I saw him too. But then I talked to the whole group, and that was an opportunity. I always try to find opportunities to instill a life lesson.
Right.
Remember, we was
Yeah.
there. I was talking to him about that, like, you have a goal.
Yes.
And why stop short of that goal?
Yes.
All he had to take and all the other kids had to take was 2 more steps and the goal would have been accomplished.
Right.
And you stopped
Right.
and went back like so it was just, I said,
Much
that's
like life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
We
exactly
count
what I
ourselves
told him.
out before we should.
Yeah, because it's
Right.
fear. The fear of being wrong, fear
Right.
of the unknown,
Yes.
and it's just
Right.
fear. And just like every experience is a lesson, and no matter good or bad, although the bad can be really bad, there's always a silver lining. There's always a lesson to
Right.
be learned, and it just depends on mindset. It depends on
Right.
how you're raised,
Right.
and you know the leadership that you've had in life, and so come the end of class, come the end of camp on Sunday, he was the last one there with your kids. You know, he was shooting. How many times did I
Like
try
he
to get out
didn't want
the
to
door?
leave the
He didn't
gym
wanna
because
leave.
that's what happened. Nick know that feel right. You don't want to leave the gym,
He didn't.
and they want to stay in the gym and keep playing. And then, as soon as he got in the car, what did he do? He was knocked out.
Like he was
What?
Ow.
He
Like,
wasn't playing
knocked out.
Gold Mine or
No,
Minecraft?
but he got in trouble earlier. Mommy took his Nintendo
Okay.
Switch and his tablet. I'm like, I'm not dealing with that.
Right.
No.
Right.
So
Good for you.
yeah, and I don't. There's no spanking. So like when we were talking about earlier about their hitting is not love. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't.
Well, given
I
your
can't.
experience,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I can't,
Yeah.
and I don't want to
I
instill
used to
that
jack my kid. No,
confusion.
just kidding. No, Elijah didn't get in a lot of trouble because I did whoop him. I did. Looking back on it, I wish I hadn't, but only like twice. But I got his ass so good because one time he lied to me and another time he talked back. And before I knew it, my hand was in the back seat against his teeth. Not that I'm proud of that, parents, and I'm not advocating that. I'm not, looking forward and understanding that it's always best to have a talking relationship with your child, if you can.
Because if you instill stuff like that, though, it makes them
It's
fearful
cyclical.
to talk to you.
Yeah.
So I
and
never
and
wanted that
I was
problem.
blessed because that boy talks to me about
Everything.
things
And
I
how
don't
old
want
is
to
he now?
know. He'll
How
be
old is he?
21. He'll be 22 in March.
But there's nothing
But
like
he's just
that.
it's
having
the
that
best thing in the world.
conversation.
I'm like, damn, I
Isn't
wish
it?
he had a daddy. I don't want to know about your
Stuff like
penis
that.
and
I
your scrotum.
know.
I don't want to know.
So that never
I
goes
don't
away.
want to look.
I know. All he talks about
Oh.
is penis. And I'm like,
Yeah.
why?
No.
I need
You
to
know
know
what?
that.
It's the most important thing because that's so intimate and private. He trusts you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a trust thing.
Mhm.
And
He
that's
does.
yeah, but I'm like, Mom, Mom,
Yep.
I need some Trojans. I'm like,
Oh man.
wow.
Now we see how men feel when we ask them to go
Y'all
to the
saying,
store.
damn, he's asking for
I
that.
know.
It could be the opposite.
I know.
In life, you always got to remember, it can always be worse.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
Can't always
He
be
Very
could not
true.
say nothing and not even worry about no Trojans
Right.
and end up
And then the next
Right.
thing, Mom,
knocking up.
I got somebody
Mom.
pregnant. Right.
So
Mom.
And that's
we
just
got to
how you
celebrate.
talk.
Like sometimes we can get mad that
Yeah.
they're coming in late
Yeah,
instead of appreciate the fact that they made it in.
that's true.
Right? It's some things we
When we
always
talk
got
about
to
that, huh, Nick?
Yeah,
Just
you
touch
gotta
on it and
especially
put it
being
in
black
perspective.
men.
A balance of it. I mean,
Mhm.
you still, but you understand the rules to the game.
Yeah.
You get the rules to the game about
Yeah.
being late, but we also like. I remember
Yeah.
seeing stuff, but back in the day, if a kid was missing, he was gone.
Yeah.
They'll then come in. They'll check on, make sure they all right first. You okay? Everything fine? And then go off on
Tap
them.
that
So
out.
going like, yeah, like, but you good? You okay? Okay, now.
You
okay.
sure? You need some water? Okay, now.
Now, you punished for like a week now.
Right.
Right, exactly. But going back to what you were saying
Uh-huh.
about, because my little man, like if he does something wrong,
Mm-hmm.
he'll tell on himself.
Oh yeah.
Like
they
I'll
always
pick him
do.
up and he'll say, "Mommy."
Oh, I
did such and such."
remember. He was.
Yes, he will tell on
He
himself.
tells on himself.
I'm
I
so
love it.
thankful to have that relationship with him.
Yeah.
Like if he does something wrong, he'll tell me. If somebody else does something wrong, he'll tell me too. So I
I always
appreciate
taught
having that relationship.
Elijah. I used to tell him, you know what? Nobody is gonna have your back like your mother.
Mm-hmm.
Right, wrong, or
Appreciate that.
indifferent.
Yep.
Whatever you do, I need to know the truth so that I know how to stand by you. Now I can correct you later, but in the meantime, we got to get through this.
Right.
You know, and I'm very grateful too. And I'm segmenting into what we're going to talk about next. I'm very grateful that my son was not like a victim of bullying. He was not. Now he was always a big kid, but there was a kid bigger than him that tried to that tried to bully him one time when he was at Cimarron Elementary School, and Elijah whooped his ass. And the boy, now Elijah has always been tall and big, always in the 95th percentile for height and weight. And so this kid must have been in the 110th percentile. That's how much taller and bigger he was. But it just took that one time. But, you know, I'm very fortunate. And so we're going to talk about not bullying in Hollywood, but mental health in Hollywood. Because we know that Symone is an actress. Why don't you tell the people where they can Netflix and Amazon Prime and find some of your movies? Tell us some of the titles of your movies or whatever it is you want people to watch, and let's support.
Well, I have had my YouTube channel for a year and a half now.
And what is the name of it?
It's Eye on DV.
EYE on DV for domestic violence. Yes.
So if you just do a search for that, it'll pop up. It's like maybe 25 or so interviews that are there.
Oh, excellent.
And I directed all the interviews. I have an incredible editor. I love her to death.
Okay. We met her, right?
Yeah, she was here. Her name is Laura Lee Paris.
Okay.
Hey, shout out to Laura Lee.
Shout out, Laura Lee.
Hey. Let's see. I have a film right now on Prime Video. It's called Stolen Breath, The Truth Revealed. It's, I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah,
so
don't
I'm
give
not gonna
us too
tell
much.
everybody what it's about, but it's really, really good message. And I
Stolen
love
Breath.
shooting it.
And that's on what network?
Prime Video.
So if you have Amazon, many of you out there shopping, go ahead and check out Symone's movie, Stolen Breath.
Directed by a dear friend of mine, Mark Ridley. Dear friend. Wonderful person. Can't wait to work with him again. So, yeah.
And Mark Ridley has directed most things on TV.
He has quite a bit of experience.
Yes, he does. He does.
He creates an environment that is very conducive to love and productivity, and I loved working with him. And given the subject matter, anybody could have been uncomfortable on the set, but it wasn't. It felt like a community. It felt like a village. I felt very supported on that set, and I loved it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about how does, that's not a good question. Does Hollywood revere mental health as something real?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
If it did, actors and actresses wouldn't be so heavily into drug use. Wouldn't be every time you turn around, someone's going to rehab. You wouldn't have all these actresses, especially coming out talking about, you know, they were propositioned or, you know, having all these experiences like with all this Weinstein stuff that is coming out.
You know what? And a lot of the community that comes here and the women that are actresses, we've been talking about that somewhat lately. You know, that to get ahead or to get in or to begin to start your career, there's an expectation for you to exchange sex for film time.
An opportunity, yeah.
Or an opportunity.
Yeah, and I can tell you that I've been in this town a minute, and I've only had one opportunity that I have not been propositioned for.
Okay.
And just for the record, that has never happened, and it will never happen.
Don't try it. Me too.
Not ever happening. So I bring a lot of experience to the table.
Okay.
I bring tons of talent to the table.
Okay.
And I bring
beauty. Isn't she beautiful?
Oh, thank you. Thank
she
you.
Be a model.
Thank you. Thank you very much. But that's a very, very discouraging part of the industry. I tell people, I'm like, look, unless you have an absolute burning desire to be in this town, unless it is absolutely your calling to do it, find something else to do.
Right.
Because I was just talking to a friend of mine before I came up here to the show, and I was choking tears back. I'm like, I feel like a salmon swimming upstream.
Yeah.
Because I can't do it.
Yeah.
Like, I am a daughter of God, and I have an extremely strong relationship with God.
Yes.
And now I'm a mother to a son.
Yes.
And I have this platform where I'm leading people, and I'm an example for people.
Right.
What type of example would I be to these men and women who are coming out of their own darkness?
Yes.
What type of example would I be as a parent?
Yes.
What type of daughter to God would I be if I slept my way anywhere?
Right.
I can't do it. I can't.
No, and you should not. And but the blessing, and not but, and the blessing is, you know how to direct. You know how to put things together. You know how to write. I've seen your stuff. You know how to act. You know how to do these things. So like you said, you already have the talent to do it. You know, it has nothing to do with your sexuality, so to speak, or having to screw your way to the top. You know, and you're in Hollywood, and so you have, you know, people. You know, I know of people whose spouses, they're only with them because of who they know and how they're connected. You know, it has nothing to do with them as an individual person. You know, like, where's the love?
I know.
And what is that? And what does that look like? You know what I mean? And how do you live in that? Like, if you would have told me I would have been sitting here so close to Hollywood, I didn't see that. You know, I was doing my own thing at home in my living room. And it was working quite well. And then, you know, I had a few people get behind me and they're like, no, you know, you have a voice. You should be heard. You da-da-da-da. But it never came with me having to sleep my way. You understand? If I was going to sleep, I'm going to sleep. But it ain't going to be to sleep so I can sit in this chair.
Right.
You understand? And there is a disconnect. And I think that people mistake it for what it is. You know, if I was stripped of everything else, would I be left with that talent? And the answer for you is yes.
Absolutely.
And it has nothing to do with sleeping your way to the top.
Yeah.
And for people who are suffering, for the women victims of Weinstein and who's that other one that I used to like?
Bill Cosby.
I ain't too convinced. I don't know. No, I was kidding. Bill Cosby. No, it's one I'm thinking of. Kevin Spacey.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
He's so talented.
Matt Lauer.
Dude, he just ruined it all. Just
don't say it. We're not gonna say the other one.
I ain't got no comment.
Yeah. See, I go back and forth on some of those things because I'm like this. If you feel that way, why would you continuously put yourself in that position to be propositioned? And you might be propositioned. Proposition is asking the question to go there. But to actually do it and do it and do it and do it, and now you want to holler, oh, I've been touched. You know, I feel a certain kind of way about that. I just do. I do, because I know what it's like to grow up in a home of abuse, of domestic violence. I know what that's like, you know, and then just being an adult and going through relationship things. I know what those things are like too. But I'm not going to keep putting myself in a position and then hollering victim. I'm just not going to do that.
Can I drop some jewels real quick?
Please drop your jewels.
So I'm going to tell y'all something I was told firsthand. So this is getting into music and into Hollywood. I had somebody who's at the pinnacle of both categories tell me this, okay? So this is not no secondhand information. They sat me down and said, are you sure this is what you want to do? And I was like, yeah. And they said, listen, this is what comes with it. People going to steal from you. You got to kiss ass. You got to be fake. You got to do all of this. If not, you don't want to be in the music business and you don't want to be in Hollywood, because this is what it is. Everything else you've been told is not true. So once I understood that, I knew this is not the space for me. So when I hear people complain about what happens in Hollywood, they're not supposed to be in Hollywood, because the people who are not complaining, they know how it goes. If you're a female, you got to have sex. That's what it is. If you're a male, you got to be somebody's friend. You got to do a favor for somebody. These are the rules to the game. The people who get this message early and don't want to participate, they usually just exit. They usually just fall back and say, damn, it's not worth it. But that's what Hollywood is. Even though I bet no one's probably ever looked this up, I can almost guarantee no one's ever looked up the word Hollywood. I can almost promise that, right?
Go ahead,
Possibly.
Nick.
So
Drop them jewels.
Hollywood was something that they used, or wood they used to burn off spirits, or to bring on spirits. So people should think about that when you say you want to be in Hollywood. You can't be in the Hollywood in your mind. You have to be in the real thing, and the real thing is full of pedophiles, molestation, sex, favors. That's what Hollywood is.
Drugs.
So when I hear people say, I want to be in Hollywood, that's what I hear, because I know what it is. I've seen it firsthand. I've never seen the Hollywood that people fantasize about, where everybody gets along, people respect people.
Right.
You ain't got to do I've never witnessed this in my life. I've seen people be cordial on set, but I know what's going on.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
I just want to tell people who are, maybe if that's what you look, maybe if you want to be an actor, that's far different from being in Hollywood. I would say do your own thing. You know what I'm saying? Build your own platform, create your own stuff. Because if you get involved with these people, you got to play by their rules.
And it's easier to do that with social media today than ever before.
No, that's
It's
not true.
not?
No.
Okay.
This is tell the reality of it.
Okay.
It ain't going to be easy.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get very far. But that's the sacrifice you make,
Mm-hmm.
right? You got to get whatever come your way. And you might make more money doing it on your own versus, in the long run, versus
Right.
taking all that money up front. That's what I would encourage. If you really have a message and an image and a story you want to tell, I would say find some friends, get a camera, shoot it yourself. Don't worry about selling it to nobody. Sell it to the people who want to see it.
Right.
Because the moment you start taking money, you got to play by their rules.
Yep.
And
Right.
I have no sympathy for people who complain about having to play by the rules,
Got it.
whatever the rules are.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how I look at it. So if you want to be in Hollywood, if you're a female, don't complain if they come at you with the get on your knees statement. You can say no, but don't try to get them arrested, because that's what this is. That is what Hollywood is.
Well, with it,
All of them.
with it so common now that people are creating their own platforms,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it does make it a lot easier in order to not have to deal with what you're talking about, Nick.
Fact.
Like, I have a fully written feature, fully written episodic, a ton of different docuseries written,
Mm-hmm.
and now that I have my YouTube channel and I know how to build that, I have a platform.
Okay.
So when I was in here, maybe a few weeks ago, shooting, that was my first day I'm shooting my sizzle reel for my own TV show.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like, God has made it very clear that I'm where I'm supposed to be and I'm
Right.
doing what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
But I do still have to have a village and a community in order to do it.
Right.
But because he wants me to do it on my own, I can choose who I can have in that community.
Woo,
I
girl,
can
say
choose
that
who is in my
again.
village. I can be my own leader of my own circle.
Yes.
And from that platform, I can impact the world in which God wants me to do it.
Absolutely.
Because if you have to go through
Absolutely.
Paramount, if you have to go through Universal, if you have to go through even Netflix, if you have to go through them, chances are you're not going to maintain creative control. You're not going to maintain producerial control.
Your
You're not going
message.
you're going to have
Right.
to, you're going to have to give up. That first project, you're going to have to give it up to get through the door.
It's like how all the black people in your script become all white.
Right.
That's what happens.
And-
Yeah.
You
it's
you got to
cold.
Huh?
give up the first one.
No, I was saying it's cold. It was this show on, oh my God, a show called Love Life or something. It's called Love Life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but on the it may have been Netflix or whatever. I think no, it's HBO Max. It's called Love Life, and on the cover of it, a black guy. Like, oh, okay, black show.
You're looking for him,
it
and you're looking
was
for him in the show.
all white
Yeah.
people.
He was
It
the only
like-
one in there.
he wasn't even like it's like it was crazy because I hit the trailer and then I'm like, let me see what's this about because Lola, and it was all
Right.
white. I forget the lady name. She funny. She's funny, but I was like, it's a cold game because they used to do this back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
like with rappers. They will put them in a movie, right? And they're advertising, but they're only in the movie for like 1 minute,
Right.
Wow.
Right.
right? To get all the black people to come
Yep.
out to go
buy
to the
that
movie. They
ticket.
did that back in the day. Like, for real, when people was hot, they'll put them in there and
Right.
show.
They still do it today.
Right.
They just put Rick Ross in something. Yeah, I was like, Rick Ross? What the
But they advertise it.
Right.
The thigh guy.
But like Zendaya, she's in Dune for like 10 minutes.
Oh, I was so upset about that. That's the reason I watched the movie.
She's in there for like 10
she's not
minutes.
even.
What was
she-
the one show that Don, what's his name? Don Cheetah?
Don Cheadle?
Don Chino?
Cheeto? And he was in for like
What was
3 minutes and he got nominated for an Emmy or something.
Really?
Y'all don't remember?
Ah.
Nick, you gotta look that up, Nick.
Let me see.
Look, cause he was joking, talking stuff. He was like, I was only in it for 3 minutes.
Like, I'll take it, but,
Like,
you
right.
know.
But it was a code, but they was talking. I mean, I would love for you to talk about that a little bit because how the industry and the whole Emmy and all that stuff, Hollywood accolades work because he was in it for it's something like maybe even 60 seconds. He like, how
That's
did I get
crazy.
nominated for a Emmy? In a movie, he was barely. Nick got to find it. He got to find it. It's
Now that's hilarious.
I never heard.
That's hilarious.
He was like, "What?"
What's it called? The Crown?
It was probably whatever his latest
I
thing.
think it was The Crown. Yeah.
Like,
He got nominated, huh? So what is
no,
that?
he was 60 seconds in the movie. That was it.
Powerful scene, man. Shout out to the brother. Man.
You know, he
right?
must
Shout out
have
to the brother.
did it all.
You know.
Wow. Well, I tell you what, they already know who they want. That's what I think.
Wow.
They already know who they want. What y'all think about the Illuminati stuff?
I think the scripture says for us to gather ourselves together, right? So when I think about Hollywood and everything we're talking about, I honestly feel like things are so difficult for us as black people because we refuse to just work together, right? We always
Right.
want to like other people don't have this issue,
Right.
Right.
They're able to come together. It don't matter their political differences. None of that matters. They can do business. I feel like we have to get to a point where we prefer to do business with one another
Right.
and keep it, and then we can censor movies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We can boycott all slave films if we have our own film company.
Right.
We don't have to keep making these films.
Right.
I don't think we should keep sitting back and complaining about what people are doing with their business and their structure, because obviously this is what they want to do.
Right.
This is the image they want to put out there. When we think about music, I often think this is hilarious how we think about how negative hip hop music is for men and women, right?
Right.
Yet black people don't own any record labels. Not one. There's not one black person who owns a record label and a production company to be able to record the music and put it out on a mass scale.
And why don't we? When we have some rappers that are billionaires, why aren't we
This
owning
is the trick,
it?
though. This is the trick. Because then you'll be able to control the message. If you control the distribution, you control the message. So when we hear music and we see these films that we dislike and all this stuff about our image, these are being put out there on purpose. Because you can
Right.
censor these things. If I made a rap album about bashing gay people, it would never hit the air.
No,
You would never hear
not
it.
today.
They would shut it down. So you have to wonder, how come killing black people is okay?
Well,
How come singing about murder how come tip drill and all of this stuff, when it's directed towards us, it seems to be entertaining?
Right.
They want that energy.
Right. So we
Like,
I feel like we got to
this
create
is-
the opposite.
Right. This is the energy that they want. If you just look around and peep the world out, like I asked you a question, why is the healthier food more expensive
How
than
is
the
lettuce $7?
like,
What's
bro,
$7?
a so-
Lettuce.
Lettuce.
Right, a soda is $1, but a thing of water is like
Two-
$3 or $4. Like, how is that
I'm gonna tell you
possible?
why. I'm gonna tell you why.
Look, potatoes.
It's simple. The more unhealthy we eat, the higher the medical bill.
Yep.
It's always about bureaucracy, medication. How many pills can I give this young man over here? That's what it's about. That's why I'm a psychologist and not a psychiatrist. The difference between the two, prescribing medication and not. I don't believe in medication like that. Sometimes I believe you got to take, I got to take Flonase for my nose or I can't breathe, right? You know, some things I believe are necessary, but not to the degree in which it's pushed up on us. All right. And then for parents out there listening, before these doctors give your kids Ritalin and Adderall and these other things, you better read, because a lot of those medications can have psychological effects that can, I want to cuss, but I'm going to just say, screw them up for life. You know, you got to know what's being given to your kid and to yourself. I had to stop at Kaiser today. My doctor prescribed some medication because I have some things going on with my breathing because of the office space I was working in. They had me in an office with no window, no air, no ventilation after COVID. You think that's not a lawsuit? Of course it is. After I've complained, after I put it in email, they're like, oh, this is a strong case right here. I know. And I'm dealing with it now. But if I don't have to take medication, I don't take medication. I don't.
Like right after my DV situation when I started was a psychotherapist.
Mm-hmm.
First thing I said when I sat in that chair, I said, no medication.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be talk therapy. I don't need that. I don't need Paxil. I don't need this. I don't need that. No, we're going to sit down and talk this out. And to this day, not doing it. Also, I do. If my son was ever going to be,
like,
no, it's not happening. You in the way that you can stand in that space is to truly know who you are.
Right.
Truly know what's going on with you.
Right.
What your needs are, and truly be an advocate for your own health.
Right.
You know, take your vitamins, be physically active, and know who your child is, so that if your child is having an issue and he or she needs therapy or needs some help or needs to see the counselor, you know what's going on before the counselor can tell you.
Yeah.
You know,
you should know what's happening with your kid.
Yeah, know your child. Watch your child. Pay attention to your child. Listen to your child.
Talk to your kid.
Talk to your kid. So your kid talks to you.
Turn off the TV.
Turn off the TV. Sometimes, Lord have mercy, you need the tablet.
Yes.
But, woo, be a single parent. My gosh. But kids don't freaking need, what is it, Ritalin and all that other stuff. A lot of times, like you said, the kids are so wired off of being
they
on
need
these.
to run.
They need to run.
Sunshine.
They need to be outside. They need vitamin D. They need social interaction. You know, if you're sitting in a room all day, you're sitting on a phone all day, of course the kid is going to want to bounce off the walls because it's not getting all the energy out that's bouncing around in their skin, in their brains.
Yep. And it's this thing called melanin. Isn't it beautiful? You know, it kills me because people would always say, so, you know, I have a rather large size nose, and I've always had this nose since I was younger. And, you know, people want to have you have a complex about what you look like in your features, right? But I love my features. I have very strong features. I love my cheekbones. I love these things about myself. But when I look up and I see other people trying to look like me, paying to darken their skin, they want that melanin. You know what I mean? And we don't look at it, and we don't teach our children to have enough self-love and self-respect for who you are. One thing you said, I always tell people, I tell my son this. I say, like when before I had a man, right? Before I started dating and all of that. My son would be like, Mom, you don't need to do nothing. You don't need to do nothing. I'm like, and then he's like, well, Mom, how come you don't have a guy? I guess I was home too much. And so I used to have to tell my son, I used to have to say, listen, I'm a child of God, I'm a woman, and then I'm your mother. Just in that order. Because it's very important, because we forget that. You know, and it's about loving yourself. You know, how come who you are isn't good enough? And if you don't like something about yourself, change it. But, you know, your skin color, it's just some things. I mean, lose some weight, that's fine. But when you begin to tap into that, because that melanin is power. It's powerful. And it can't be bought. Yeah. I don't care how many tanning beds or all these different things these people have. These people are risking their skin and cancer because they want to look like me. They want to look like everybody sitting in this room. But it's something that God gave us, which makes us a very special people. It has sustained us over many, many, many years of survival. We always talk about the psychological chains that follow us innately, ancestrally. Every time on this program, huh, Nick? We can't get away from it. And I'm never going to get away from it because it's who I am. It's how I survive. It's how each of us in here survive. It is a part of our creativity. Why you are an actress, a writer, a producer, a director, right? Why you were able to go and have a passion and get in tune with God to know what it was He had in store for your life. And that is to teach one and reach one and to repeat it and to build and to give to a world of children who would not have or otherwise know something so powerful called love. Loving who they are despite their condition, despite you being in foster care, despite you not having your mother and father like how you would want to, you're still important. And those are the things, right? And even over here with Nick, having the ability to learn engineering, to be able to study and know the Bible, right? I tease him a lot, but this brother over here is very knowledgeable. I tell him every time. I love being around Nick because I learn something every time, or I'm going to laugh. You know, it's one or the other. But even just being able to be blessed to be close to his family and to work with his father, those are all things that are powerful. And it is an energy that cannot be bought because energy is neither created nor destroyed. So if we would just dive into who we are, no matter our ethnicities, it doesn't matter what you are, accept who you are and live in that truth. And it's when we try to live outside of ourselves that we get in trouble, right? So, James, I want you to tell the people, because you got a few things going on over there. I think I saw some tears welt up into my eyes. Which is a beautiful thing.
Right.
It's a beautiful thing because, again, having that thick skin, a lot of times we're taught not to show emotion.
Right.
Then we become women and men who don't show emotion to our children.
Of course.
And then what kind of children are we raising cyclically?
Right.
And then what do our grandchildren and great-grands and so forth go through?
Right.
It's very powerful.
And kids emulate what they see.
Absolutely.
And like I said, you have a choice to be an icon to your kids or hypocritical.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And we talk about that. And with Symone, the battles, being victorious, right? Being a queen, that crown was tilted and she found the way to straighten it and wear it the way a queen's supposed to wear it, right?
Absolutely.
That's iconic, and her son sees that, right? This is the thing, and
That made me
sometimes, and I'm gonna talk to people that are experiencing different things, domestic violence, et cetera, et cetera. Like sometimes we're not. We talk about self-care and honoring our truth and everything, but the reality is this as well too. Sometimes we're not strong enough to do things for ourselves, right?
Right.
And sometimes we need to be inspired, to be motivated to move a certain type of way, right? It's even as a basketball player, my father passed. So it was sometimes I didn't feel like going to practice or doing this and that or whatever, but I thought about my father, or I wrote my father on my shoes. Like a lot of athletes do this as extra inspiration, right? So with people that's going through things, other young ladies that may have kids or family members or this and that, you find someone to do it for if you can't do it for yourself.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, what would you tell your daughter, right? If you was in a relationship, right? That wasn't cool, that was toxic, what would you tell your daughter?
Get out of that.
You would tell your daughter to get out and make moves and this and that, et cetera, right? But now your daughter and your child looking at you like you're hypocritical.
Right.
Yep.
How are you going to tell me to move a certain type of way
When you
and
don't
you're
move.
in that room,
Woo!
right?
Yes.
You gotta lead by example.
Like,
you
you know what I'm
have to.
saying? So
Yes,
you really,
that's powerful.
as a parent, you have a choice to be looked up on as iconic or hypocritical. And that's what it is, Queen. Like, you did your thing. Like, here's the thing. You made it through the storm, right? Like, at the end of the day, to sum it up, you're a success story. And you have to embrace that. You're a success story. You won. You have to understand that you won. You took their best shot and you still here. Like, you made it through the fire. You may smell like smoke, but you made it through the fire. You're a success story, Queen. You won. And what you did is iconic. And your son sees that.
That's all I want is for him to.
Like, you
I was
feel what
gifted.
I'm saying?
Yes. I was gifted with him. But he doesn't belong to me. He belongs to God, and
You was chosen.
I was chosen to be his parent. I was chosen to mold him with God's influence, with God's touch. And I can't do anything less than that. I cannot be anything less than what God wants me to be, number one. And plus, number two, because I have this little bitty person that I am tasked with leading through this world. I am tasked with building the foundation for. I can't stop ever.
Right.
I can't. And there's so many women and men that I come across every day who don't have what I had, who don't have the relationship with God, who don't, for whatever reason. And it's I have to help them.
Right.
I have to help them because I know if I don't, then I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. And knowing what it's like to have that help from God, it will pull me out of anything.
Right.
Amen.
And if I'm okay, my little man's okay.
Right.
If I'm living and breathing and loving and jumping and being courageous, then he is.
Right.
Right.
If I can give other people a taste of that, I know that they're going to gobble it up.
Right.
And it's going to make a huge difference, a difference that they couldn't have possibly conceived of in their lives. We only got one life, and it's short. We have to make the best of it, and
Right.
God wants us all to make the best of our lives.
Yes, indeed.
God wants abundance on every level for everyone. No one should live their life in darkness, ever.
Right.
Amen.
And it comes and everything, and I'm gonna tell you this, and I don't know if you heard this recently or you haven't heard this recently. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna say it anyway. Like, I'm mad proud of you. Like, I'm proud of you, Queen. Like, period. I'm proud of you, right? Because your aura is incredible.
It is.
I don't even think you realize how strong your glow is. Like, your aura is incredible, right? And let me share this with you. The final thing is two type of positive people out there, right? It's the type of positive people where you can look in their eyes and see the good in. Then it's the type of positive people you can look in their eyes and see the God in.
Amen.
And I can see the God in your eyes.
Absolutely.
So it's okay. I'm proud of you. You doing your thing. And you dope as fuck. It's cool. Live. It's a lot of people alive but not living.
Oh, say that
Live,
again.
right?
Say that again.
You doing your thing, Queen.
Ooh, yes,
Like,
yes.
you doing your thing. Live. Don't carry all of that energy, woulda, shoulda, coulda. None of that vibe. You doing your thing. Breathe and exist. Continue to just exist and breathe, right? And do your thing and shine the way God meant for you to shine. You doing your thing. I'm proud of you, right?
Me too.
Yeah, everything's dope. You doing your thing. All right.
I did not come on this show today to be crying.
I do that to people. I'm sorry, honey. I be getting them tears.
Thank you.
So to answer your question, I know you asked me about me. I'm
Like,
sorry.
what happened to my question?
Right. I'm sorry. You asked me about me, and then I went to her. But it was in my spirit to share that with her
Absolutely.
and everything. But yeah, so I have, outside of Teach One, Reach One, a former pro basketball player. So I have my basketball company here called D Up Basketball. And on Instagram is D_up_basketball. And we teach a basketball class for 3 to 6 year old boys and girls and 7 to 15-year-old boys and girls
That's
to give
so
back to the
powerful
community.
because that's the foundation. He said 3 years old up. Wow.
Wow. Yeah, and it's me and another former NBA guys. We'll donate our time and come in and work with the kids and do something special for them. We give away free prizes, NBA tickets as well. And, we discount single parents. Like, we only charge $10 and families get to come out and participate. And we do it once a week on Sundays. Like, for the 3 to 6 year olds, class is only 45 minutes at 11 o'clock. So you ain't got to wake up mad early. And then for the 7 to 15-year-old class is at 12, from 12 to 1. So it don't dominate your whole Sunday. You able to get back to your weekend, et cetera, but you take the time out to let the kids learn the game of basketball the right way from professional athletes. And this is something that I'm proud of, excuse me, that we do to bless families and give back. So, families are more than welcome to to reach out to us. Follow us on Instagram, and you have any questions, respond. Or our website is dupbasketball.com, and you can register your kids there. But yeah, so I have that, and then, as you know, the big event.
Ooh,
The big event.
I can't. I gotta go buy me an outfit.
Yes, you should. Yes,
and
yes,
it's gonna
you
be
should.
banging.
Yes, you should. So it's gonna be nice. It's
I
gonna be
appropriately
nice.
used it that time.
Right. It's gonna be nice though. So I'm looking forward to everybody coming out once again. If you want to show your support, please go to T1FD.org to donate or purchase your tickets to come out to the comedy show in Hollywood. And we're excited about it. We want your support for the foster care kids.
And I want y'all to get VIP tickets so y'all can sit at the table with me and eat
Yes.
and talk and drink and be merry.
Yes,
Because
yes.
it's going to be an after party. After the party is an after party.
Right.
And after the party is the, I can't say that because, But anyway, we want you guys to support what we're doing, all right? We are all black people in here sitting in this room. I love this shirt that Mr. Christian has on. Show the people your shirt. And then next time, can I get one?
That's it.
Minding my black-owned business.
Yes,
I
yes,
need
yes,
that.
yes,
I
yes.
need that shirt. I need it, okay?
Yes.
We need those shirts.
Yes, we do.
So you guys were phenomenal. I want to thank you for
thank
coming
you.
on. I know I got to get out of the way because it's time for Spooty. But I do want to, one thing I like to do is to have us stand and practice deep breathing.
Wait. Before you get into that,
Oh, okay.
I found a scripture from my brother right here.
Oh,
Yes.
It's Psalms 41. Psalms 41, it says, "Blessed is he that considereth the poor. The Lord will deliver him in time of trouble." So
Amen.
that's what I was talking about earlier. I just wanted to make sure I actually pulled the right scripture.
Yes.
amen.
And everybody should know this. If you're black and you don't know this scripture, it's pretty sad. This is Songs of Solomon 1, 5, and 6. It says, "I am black and comely." I don't know if anybody knew that, but it actually says I'm black and beautiful in the scriptures.
Woo.
Yes,
So
that's
y'all can
it.
take that with you for the day.
Love that.
Appreciate you.
Love
Appreciate
that.
Thank
King.
you.
Young King, appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, Doc, it's on you.
All right, so please, and thank you guys for sharing. Thank you, Jeff. I see you that way. Thank you for sharing. So we're gonna stand and do deep breathing. It is very important to our spirits, you guys, to make sure that we're properly breathing to our health. Many health problems we have simply because we don't eat the right way, or we're not breathing correctly, or we're skimping out on us. We're not taking the time to drive to the market with the better foods. You know what I mean? It's all high. It's all the price of everything is high. Gas is high, food is high, but breathing is free. So if you guys don't mind standing with me, and we're gonna practice our deep breathing, and I'll show you guys the proper way to do it, because what I've learned over time through my therapy is that many of us don't breathe correctly. And it's very simple. We're gonna breathe in deeply through our nose and through our nostrils. I'll say with an S, most of us have two, okay? And what's important about this is to make sure you take in the air. Now, we have good air in here because these candles, if you guys don't know, you can get them from Nick and his wife. They last a long time, okay? But they are pure essential oils. And so that's what we're breathing that's in the air, all right? And if you know anything about pure essential oils, they are microbials. So they fight the bacteria that is in the air, okay? So that's what we're inhaling here. So we're going to breathe in deeply through our nostrils, and I'll demonstrate with my hands because I won't be talking. We'll hold the air. We'll feel that air is going to go kind of up towards the brain, which is going to give the brain life and oxygen to wake us up. Oh, come on in so you can do deep breathing with us. And then the air, you're going to let it move down into your body, into the middle, and then you're going to hold it when you get to the midsection, okay? Now, my midsection is bigger than most, but hold it here. And then we're going to squeeze that area and force that air up. But as we're forcing the air up, we're forcing out toxins in the body, okay? So for those of you who detox, you're getting rid of some of those things that are in there. But more powerful, I want you to think about toxic friendships, toxic relationships, toxic boss, toxic neighbors, okay? Toxic spouses. It's time to stop living a life of toxicity because that is not what God intended for us. And no one can reach their true potential or greatness until you get rid of toxic things, okay? So this is where we start. All right, so are we ready? All right, in through the nostrils. Forgot to tell you how to blow out through the mouth, okay? And we'll do it one more time, but you can continue to practice, okay? In through the nose. All right. So remember, the only limitations we have are the ones we place upon ourselves. And then the final thing that I would like for us to do is to state an affirmation for the day or for the week or for the month or for the rest of your life, but just something positive to put into the atmosphere and a goal to work towards or to continue. Okay? You want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
I am abundant.
Okay.
Honor your truth.
Each day I will improve me.
Hakuna Matata.
I can't stand him.
That's my go-to, man.
All right. So again, as always, I thank you guys for joining. I thank God for another amazing and blessed day. Thank you, Speedy, for allowing me to be here. Thank you, Nick, for your time and your knowledge to the people, to our people. And God bless you all. And I will see you here on this show next Monday and other shows in between, but next Monday. So be blessed. See you soon.